So this Eternal Evolution video is going to be a bit of a hybrid between a kind of overview of a beginner's guide and sort of lessons learned from my account and if I would change anything. The sort of heads up, no, I wouldn't change anything. I'm pretty happy with how it's played out. But I'm just going to explain what has maybe even contemplate that being a sort of a decision. So first of all, we're going to start with our heroes. So when I started the game off, Daniel is free to play to get to Immortal in week 2. He is critical. Leo, you can get a copy of, and hopefully if you get lucky, get 2 copies of him in the first week because there's a banner up for him. And so I'd recommend pulling 80 shards on Leo in the first week. That's so you can get a gene hybrid and hopefully 2 copies at least of Leo. And that'll sort of get him up to the mythic sort of area in the first week. And then what you want to do is you want to get, in the second week, you want to get Daniel to Immortal as a priority. Any leftover gene hybrid you actually want to hold on to for now. So you have Leo, for argument's sake, at Mythic. You'll have Daniel at Immortal at the end of week 2. And then roll forwards into week 4. You'll get Mazrani up to Immortal. The reason they're a priority for getting to Immortal is there's Evolution events on. They're the only 2 Evolution events that you get in the game. And if you focus on those 2 events, you'll get both those heroes to Immortal by the end of the first month. Once you've got those 2 to Immortal, highly recommend getting Leo to Immortal after that. Because right now, with the MVP Campaign Team 3 that I've put out, Leo is still critical in that. He gives the sustainability or the survivability to your team until they can start proccing a stun lock on the enemy, basically. At the same time as all this is happening, it's pretty easy to get Senway leveled up, along with Taylor, and then Kalaza is my other recommendation. That sort of rounds out your summoner team. So you'd be running sort of Daniel, Senway, Mazrani, Leo, and then you've got 1 space left over, which can be for Kalaza. You can run double healers as well. But yeah, it was a mix of Kalaza, Taylor, and Serena that I had. Once Durali pops up in a banner, she's important to get up to Immortal because she does add a ton more summoner damage as well. However, what I've realized is how good assassins are. So Dominic is, once you get him, he is the most important to get up to max level Hyper Evolution EX30 out of everyone. So what I recommend is focusing on the summoners first, then moving into your assassins. Dominic is the number 1 to get leveled up. If you can get Motoko, I think she's actually the next most important, arguably with Rickett. But yeah, these are the next 2 you're looking at getting leveled up afterwards. So far I've found more relevance in having Rickett at Mythic 2 and getting Motoko to Immortal than the other way around. So that's what I'd recommend. Summoners first, Dominic fully maxed out. Copies of these 2. This one's obviously arguable if you're going to be able to get her, because we get her in an event at the moment. But at least getting Rickett up to a Mythic 2. Replacing Motoko with any other assassin, really. She's good because she does the AoE hit. But you can definitely chuck in Bailey or someone else. That's what the focus is for going through and getting your heroes picked out. So this isn't going to be like a full tier list or anything like this. It's just a sort of general build towards going summoners and then assassins. The other reason I would back going summoners first is that all the key areas that you need to progress in, like campaign, elite campaign, you can get really far with what you get free to play early on. You can sort of get up to like chapter 40 without having to invest anything in the game. If you were going for summoners, you would have to invest because there's no sort of there's no events that really support rapidly upgrading your summoners where there is multiple for... there's no sort of events that help you sort of rapidly level up your assassins, whereas there's tons of banners and events that help you level up summoners. The other reason as well is, as much as there's a bit of a mix as to what the priority is in here, a summoner team really helps you get through here, a summoner team really helps you get through here, a summoner team can assist you getting through here, mostly because of Daniel. So summoners are really good in here, assassins are really good in here as well, but summoners do the same job. But Crimson Abyss Summoners are the only team that are any good at this. Assassins are horrendous at it. They're so bad. So this is really important to try and get your character up to Hyper Evolution early on in the game, sort of within the first 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. If you were trying to fully build out Assassins and you weren't worrying about your Summoner team, you're not going to get through this very far, which means you're not going to have the resources that you get from here, which means you can't get to level 240 5 times and then start doing your Hyper Evolution levels. So they're the 2 reasons that I would worry about Summoners over Assassins still, is you got to power level your account XP wise from here. You're also going to get through almost the same amount of content, almost the same amount of distance through the story, and then you can just move over to Assassins to put you up to that next tier end game. So where am I going from here? I'm definitely fully building out my Assassins. So currently we've got the Soul Incursion, Ghost in a Shell collab event at the moment. I'm waiting out for next week to do some summons. I currently don't have too many summoning tickets because I went really hard on Motoko because I realised how good she was. So last summoner event it was Motoko and Batu. Batu is terrible. They might have a use for him in the game soon, but at the moment not very good. However, I heard really good things about Tachikoma, but I've got Purin only at like the base level +1, and she is insane. Incredible healing skills. Really impressed with her. She does absolutely 0 damage, but she adds 10% to your entire team. So if you're running an assassin team, you're doing 10% more damage straight off the bat, which is really good. But her AoE heal is regen, so it's constant. She just pumps out heal. So what I'm working at the moment is we've got 10 days of this event left. That means I've got 2 Ancient Altar reward collections. So we've got 1 today coming soon and 1 next week. That'll get me about 70 of these tickets, and I'm hoping to get to 180, but that also includes, so I've already got 60, so that'll get me up to 130. I need 50. I'll hopefully get 50 with a combination of these tickets, the limited recruitment and the soul memory. These are rewards for the content we've got at the moment. So really all I need to get is another 50 of these outside of Ancient Altar. That'll give me some actual tickets and an extra copy here. And I'm hoping to get 1 copy of Tachikoma, but I'm really hoping to get as many of Purin as possible. But the reason I'm waiting until next week is we don't have a Hero Rally event on, and I'm not too worried about even getting to 500. 500 would be good, but I need to do lots of summons next week to get Purin, and I'll at least go for the mythic runes for the People's EX. So the priority that I've gone through for EX, when we're on that topic, is Daniel was my first EX30 because he has an incredible EX30. Basically, the Die Bear lasts 3 seconds longer. So you're just doing more AoE damage for an extra 3 seconds. And that extra 3 seconds means he's only probably like 3 or 4 seconds out from resummoning his Die Boar. So you just got a constant AoE damage with an AoE stun at the start of that. So yeah, he was my priority. The next up was Masrani for EX30. So the duration of the regen. However, if I was to start the game again and somehow Purin was possible, I would still get him to Immortal because there's so many events on for him. But I wouldn't actually worry about EX30, and I would be focused more on Purin because I think Purin's heal is better for 1. And because it's not limited within a circle, it's just across the board. It's just AoE heal everybody. And mix that with Healing Horn, it then gives you a subsequent regen constantly, so her heal is through the roof. So EX30 is not really a priority for Masrani, as long as you can get a copy of Purin early on in the game, but that's still to be confirmed whether you can actually do that. Next up for my EX30, I did EX Leo next. However, all that's doing increases his damage, and I do have regrets on this. I would not have done this. My next EX30 priority would probably be Fiona, because her ultimate is insane. So yeah, that's definite. I'd be going Daniel, Masrani if you can't get Purin, and then Fiona. And then next up, the only EX30s I'd be doing would be the Assassins. So Dominic is a must-have for EX30. He's also a must-have to be the first Hyper Evolution all the way up to level 120. Yeah, Dominic is all-round deserving of everything. My next EX30, we can have a look now. It's either going to be Motoko or Rickett. For the most part, if Motoko is not available for the sort of everybody after this event, it'll be Rickett. But the exclusive you're getting for her is early on in the game, she's going to do an extra 50% damage. That's going to time well supporting just the damage she does because it's huge, but also supporting Dominic's ult because she dishes out a ton of critical. Everything she does is critical. So yeah, she'll be an EX30 for sure. We'll have a look at what Rickett gets for his EX30. For every 2 swords absorbed, performs 1 additional slash. Yeah, so he does a ton of single target damage, whereas Motoko does a ton of AoE damage. So I'd be definitely going for Motoko's EX30. But it really depends. Like, you might just get into the game and you get Rickett first. So yeah, either. I don't think it's too much of a big deal. You only really need to be running 3 assassins. There'll only be some content of the game where you want to run Fiona and 4 assassins. So yeah, I'd be focusing definitely Dominic out of the assassins, followed by either of these 2. And then, because we've already got the summoners built out, I'd be then looking at your next class of hero. And for me, summoners, assassins, and it's going to be tanks. The only reason it's tanks is because they are niche in some content that I struggle with assassins and summoners. And they arguably have one of the best PvP teams. And so if I focus on my tanks third, I'll have a fully rounded out Summit Arena team, and I might actually be competitive in the Summit Arena again once I've got tanks. This is another, I think I'm in my 3rd month now. I think I've started my 4th month. This is a 6-month process all up, I think. I don't think I'm going to have a fully decked out tank team until 6 months in, free to play. But that's how it played out. Yeah, the whole point of this video was basically to say, would I change anything? No, except for swapping out Masrani for Purin if it's possible, EX-wise, and not EX30ing Leo. I would definitely get him to EX20, but I'd be saving those EX30s for Durali, I believe. No, not for Durali, sorry. Durali doesn't get EX30'd. Be saving them for Dominic. So anyway, I hope that video gives you some sort of oversight as to where I'm at the moment, where my sort of focus in the game is going. I'm trying to think if there's any focus outside just the heroes that I'm working on. Yeah, I suppose the focus in line with the heroes is trying to get my fully rounded out Summon Arena team, which doubles into getting a fully rounded out Galactic Arena team. Twilight Lands, smashed it. Managed to come in at... Oh, wait. Came in first, completely aced it out. So this is my 3rd... by the 3rd Twilight Lands, I'm able to completely finish it in 1 day. So there's no resets needed. First day of Twilight Lands, managed to finish first. So the race is then on. Like, no one's overly competitive for the EX. So I'm expecting to sort of come 3rd, I reckon, behind Caesar and Kiko. What that gets me rewards-wise... for 3rd, so getting this new... actually, that's another thing we can go into, actually. We'll go into prototypes as well, where I'm focused there. Because I have used some of my generic prototype upgrades. but I'm going to get this one. Assassins, this is an upgraded Pain Rune. So it's still only doing a small stun, so I don't think that's going to change from Pain Rune, because it does last for 2 seconds as well. That upgrades from 40% to 60%, so you're doing more AoE damage. But then the new one is you get a 20% damage amp for 5 seconds. That's huge. So they lose and gain shield all the time, so you're going to be pretty much running a constant 20% extra damage, which is huge. So that's a really good one. However, what I'm really trying to get hold of, this is where we'll go into prototypes, is I did upgrade this to get myself through a little bit further into Crimson Abyss, which I don't really have regrets on. Pretty happy that I've done that. But what I'm really hoping to get my hands on is this one. So I'm running the lower tier version of this, but once you get it up to max level, you receive 100% less damage. Decays 25, so you've got a 25% damage reduction for the entire battle, regardless of how long it goes. But it starts off with 100%, and that decays over 25 seconds. After 25 seconds, all assassins will recover health equal to 1600% of their own attack power, which is massive. So yeah, that's huge. That then ties in with Fiona's ultimate, where she gives damage reduction, which caps out at her third ult. So once you cast that 3 times, I think your passive damage reduction becomes like 50% maybe, plus whatever damage reduction they're running on their gear. So that's massive. So that's now what I'm saving my... I don't know what they're called, to be honest. Whatever these are. The universal crystals. As soon as I get that Diviner prototype, I'll be trying to max it out. That's going to be massive. The other one would be good to get as well, that I'm going to get. This one, but it's not something I'm planning on maxing out straight away. I'll just slowly upgrade that one after the cloak. So I'd say that's everything I'm focused on now. One other tip that I found out as well is between level 1 to 10, keep re-rolling these heroes, trying to find yourself 2 good starter heroes. So like Dominic and Leo, really good combination, and they've got Fiona. Once you've got 2 good ones here, just focus on getting one guy up to level 50, and then you can just re-roll their stats. This is not something I was aware of. I had no idea what these things did. But what it does is you spend 2 of these, you can lock down up to 4 of their skills. The more skills you lock, the more expensive it becomes. But yeah, you can lock down 4 skills, which means I'm never going to lose this, never going to lose this. If I was to actually re-roll this one, even though I've got Fiona locked, here I've got a +1, it's actually possible to get +2. If I roll a +2, it'll let me keep that +2 as well. The reason I'm not rolling this anymore is I want to keep all 3 of those heroes, but I also want to keep this maxed out crit damage. But I also do want to keep the not maxed out. Oh, sorry, yeah, maxed out crit rate for the back row as well, because that'll be where my assassins sit. And this is good enough. If I get a tank in the front, they're going to get 8% damage reduction, which is maxed. They're going to get 6% defense bonus. And I'm not really going to be running summoners, but this is too good for me to worry about risking losing these 2 stats, really, or 3 stats. And I can't lose those 3 either. So yeah, what I recommend for these guys, get yourself 2 really good starter heroes, roll through, pray for the best, get yourself a level 50, and then start doing your purification. That's going to cover off on everything that I've learned about the game, playing for 3 and a bit months. I hope that helps. Cheers.